budget. Yeah. You just go full margin every day using a specific strategy. That's the fastest way to become profitable.
And you take, let's just say, 3 losses in a row. What's the thought process after that now? Like you're in 3 losses in a row, you're jumping into a 4th trade now. What is your mindset?
So
Very
deep.
interesting.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
38.2 is the number 2.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're
38.2,
going
bro.
all in.
It doesn't pull back, bro. You can enter 68. You'll get your... It'll go up and down.
Up and
up
it'll
down.
fluctuate a
It'll go
bit.
into draw.
Yeah.
But once it passed that 38.2, and you get solid candlesticks closing above that, comes back, retests, it's gone. There's no drawdown.
He's not going to come back down.
What's going on, guys? And welcome back to a new episode of Warroom Talk. I'm your host, Ravs, and today we've got 3 guests with us today. You guys know Dre, Jay, and sitting across me is Aaron Chetty, aka VK. Thanks for joining me, guys. Well, VK, we got your childhood friend here across, Dre. So I'm just gonna hand it over to him, and you guys can take it from there.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, I grew up with Aaron, well, in his house all the time, and got to really know him well, but not through Forex. So it's been a while since I spoke to him and stuff, but when we started speaking about actual Forex and things, I started learning a lot from this guy.
Yeah.
So really, in terms of psychology and just basically how to look at the markets.
He's the guy to look at.
Number one.
You are
Yeah.
putting me on a very high
No,
pedestal.
that's
You're putting me on a very high
Because
pedestal.
when Jay was speaking to me about you, and we sent you our strategy to backtest
Yes.
and whatever it is, and when you were sending me your trade setups and your trades and whatever it is, excellent stuff, bro.
Yeah,
Well done,
it's
bro.
a different style, but
Yeah.
we try and make it happen.
That was the most interesting part.
Is
The
it, yeah?
style.
The style of
Yeah.
trading.
Crazy.
Yeah, because I heard you guys talking just before this, obviously, and yeah, I've never heard of someone trade like that before. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yes,
So
it's-
interesting.
It's not
interesting,
nothing wrong
it's
with it.
interesting.
Everyone's got their own style of trading, whether it's like Fibonacci, support and resistance. But this is very different to what I learned and what I've seen.
Traditional trading.
It's not
Yeah,
your
yeah,
traditional
yeah.
trading. But before we get into all of that, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and your journey to where you are now.
Okay, so originally here from Stanger, this is Shweb or Drake grew up with us. I knew my Shweb. Moved to Johannesburg in 2013. I come from a marketing, IT, and web design background. And then 2021, 2022, just towards the end of COVID, coming into the new year, social media started blowing up with trading, and everybody started posting pictures of this is what you can do. And we've been in trading for a bit, or crypto market from about 2015, 2016. That's where we started dabbling a bit in it. And then as time went by, life happened, left all of the crypto and everything on side, continued with the career. Then COVID happened. That was a life-changing for, I think, majority of the traders. COVID was the wake-up call to do something because you didn't know job scarcity, the markets, everything was going wrong. At that time, I really didn't know much of what we were doing. We got into it, and every trader goes through that initial burst, and that ego comes in, that confidence comes in.
Yeah.
$500 in the market, 2 weeks, $2,000. Didn't know what we were doing. Didn't know what to do. We just knew MT4, buy, sell. I didn't know about trading view.
You're already planning how to spend the profits.
Exactly. You put in the
Yeah.
TP, calculating. Buy this Lambo.
Picking out your cars.
Becoming a millionaire overnight.
Infinite money glitch. Yeah, we
And then-
made it, boys. We made it.
You know the story. Everybody walked through that initial
Yeah,
phase,
yeah,
and then the next phase everybody has is the boom and the bust.
Yeah.
Then you lost to $2,000.
worst.
Once you lose the $2,000, like how? Now what happened? I did it, but what happened? Then you started looking at how you trade, what is happening, why you were buying, why you're selling. Started investigating, learning more. And even at that time, 2021, 2022, I wasn't into it. It was a means of, okay, people are making money, but let's see if we can also replicate what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it continued like that. At that time, there were some people that I was following. They were trading, I'll say, traditional styles in the sense that it was mainly Fibonacci-based, support resistance, important levels, key levels,
Sure.
and that. So for some reason, Fibonacci related to me, and the law of nature with the numbers and numerology.
Mm-hmm.
I think later on we might
Yeah,
get
No,
into
we
that.
we're not later
Let's
on.
get
We're going to
into
get
that.
into it just
We're
now.
going to get into it.
Yeah.
So it's very, very unconventional, but I went through the conventional methods as
Sure.
well.
Yeah.
Jumping strategy to strategy. Once you hit a couple wins, as soon as it stops working, you jump ship. Like, this is no more working. Go to the next
System
one.
hopping.
Yeah.
System hopping. And that's the worst thing any trader goes. And what I'm going to be saying is like so cliched because every trader on their journey went through the same thing. Almost every trader.
You have to go through it.
It's part of the journey.
Yeah.
And I think now with the way social media is and the internet and the amount of free content that is there. I mean, my first Forex course I paid $1,500 for.
That's a lot of
That's a lot of money, and
Yo.
this was like 2021. There's
30,000 rand.
and
Yeah.
at that time, this was one of the biggest traders that I sort of knew was in his private mentorship, $1,500. His name is Dimitri Wallace, known as the Gold Father. Only trades gold, and I fell in love with gold at that time as well because he started seeing what they're doing. He traded also a little bit unconventional, so I can also say that I learned a bit from him, and then of course his own self-expression and what relates to you start getting into it.
So that's where the curiosity started.
Exactly. It was sort of, I can, tell that he's the one that got me into
Got
it.
into it, yeah.
So it was like a lifetime course. It wasn't just a once-off.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a 1,500. He used, I think now a lot of people are using it, Bookmap, order flow.
Yeah.
At that time, he was teaching it.
To
I
identify
didn't-
liquidity and orders
Exactly,
and all
the
that,
proper way.
Yeah.
I didn't take much attention to it because it was too much of work.
Yeah,
At that
okay.
time,
Yeah.
and I didn't have understanding of it. And like I said, we were still learning, so we weren't at that level to understand what Forex was. We knew basic buy, sell. We didn't know how to calculate puts properly, points, all.
Yeah,
yeah,
Just
yeah,
going
yeah,
into the
yeah,
market,
yeah.
we're trying to make money.
Sure.
That was basically our goal was, people are making money, let's make money.
100%. Yeah.
Then as time goes on, you start developing as a trader, you start learning different things, and then fast forward to where I am now, I had to basically unlearn everything and relearn to what relates
What
to me.
yeah,
because
100%.
from Dimitri, I went to other courses as well because it got to a point where the things that he was teaching, it wasn't working, but
Yeah.
it was inconsistent. And there's variable factors that happened. We just had COVID crash after that. So markets were starting to pick up and the strategy wasn't 100%. And
Okay.
also over leveraging, normal story.
Blowing
every
accounts,
trader,
yeah.
you want to go make that buy Lambo now.
Yeah.
Blowing accounts like no man's business.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It continued like that for a while. It gets to a point where you're like, this is enough now.
Yeah.
What am I doing wrong? And then when you start leaving the money aspect out of it. So my whole change after we fast forward was when I stopped looking at the P&L in monetary value and started looking at it as a percentage. That changed my whole mindset that, hey, you know what, we're living in South Africa. If you look at any investment or any bank that we have, no one's going to give you more than, 13% per annum. I think
Yeah.
African bank had it.
13% is actually a
30%
lot.
is a
Yeah,
lot.
there's a lot from a bank.
And
Yeah.
then you look at trading and you're like, hey, guys are making 10, 15, 20% a month. So why are we chasing? So I slowed down and I said, okay, let's try and make 1% a month. And then you are already ahead of the biggest investments that you can leave your money in. But all it's going to take you is to put in the work.
Yeah.
Sure.
And many people don't want to put in the work. A lot of people just want to just sit there, get rich quick. They think this is a get rich quick scheme.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. It's not, yeah.
You will learn very fast. And
But I think all of us got into that mindset, hey, get rich quick. Because
Yeah.
when you're on social media,
News events, bro. News events.
news events,
Yeah.
yeah.
fuck.
But it can also go the opposite way.
Yeah.
But I think also social media had this thing where, nobody really posts the loss and everything. Everything is about
Was
the
a blue
wins.
screen.
Everything is blue.
Yeah.
Everything is blue.
Yeah.
You know what? They're making money. They're making like 50,000, 100,000.
Bro,
Every
you
day.
got some people posting millions, billions and stuff.
Millions.
And at that time, we
Yeah.
didn't know about demo trading.
Yeah.
You don't know whether they're flashing a demo account or real money. You're just getting sold on that value of money. Like, hey, you know what? This guy is making 100, and they're hiding their balances. So
Yeah.
you're only seeing what is floating in profit.
But don't get me wrong. Some people are actually making that
Yes,
type
yes.
of money.
Yeah,
You know.
But also, you coming back, you speak about percentage. Obviously, it depends on your size of your account as well. I mean, if you got a 10,000 Rand account, 10% of 10,000 is 1,000 Rand. But if you have a million Rand account, for instance, if you're making 10% there, is 100,000
yeah,
Rand.
so you see, that's where the variabilities
So-
of
Yeah.
the
So-
constant stays.
So as you said, people hide their bank balance and whatever. It's also the size of the account they trade with. It's also percentage-wise. As you said, look at it as percentage-wise.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, think, oh, let's take $1,000 or 1,000 Rand, for instance, and in one trade you're making 10,000.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but
Yeah,
you have
fuck,
to
you do it all the
you have to like
You basically have to have risk management out the window. You're basically
Yeah.
gambling it there
Full
because it's a game of
Full
yeah,
margin.
full margin.
You have to have no drawdown, nothing. You just go straight
Yeah.
into profits.
Yeah, so
But I mean, some people do it. I mean, obviously they take
I
losses.
teach that trading plan. You know this.
But that's why I'm looking at you and I'm talking to it
I have
because
a full margin trading plan.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yes, you do take losses. But when you take the wins are much bigger than your
Yeah.
losses.
I mean, see, like you
So-
saying, you got full margin trading plan.
It's
It's a
easy.
plan.
Yeah, it's,
a
yeah.
plan.
It's not
Yeah.
just going into the market and say, hey, today is NFP, I'm going to buy or sell.
Yeah.
You know, you got to basically model that you follow for your full margin. And
Yeah.
in a way, it is risky, but you've tested, you have data collected that this is how you're going to trade.
100%.
Yeah, but you play out the worst case scenario, and if you're running the full margin trading plan, there's only so much you can lose.
That is it. I
Yeah.
think with trading, a lot of people only look at what they're willing to make, but they don't look at it when you're going into a position that when you enter a position, your mindset should be that this is how much I'm willing to lose.
Yeah.
You don't calculate
Yeah.
how much
You-
like what I
Yes.
used to do before go buy everything.
100%.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
even,
yeah.
even with having a 10% risk, as you say, if someone's coming in and saying they want to start trading with 10 grand, I think with a full margin trading plan, you'd say, okay, load your account with 1,000 rand.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full
It's
margin.
less risky. Then it gives you 10 full margin tries, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but some people take it wrong and say full margin. Just put the 10,000 one time.
No.
You
That's
can't
not
do
how it
that.
works.
You can't do that.
So
yeah.
if you're doing full margin trading plan, it's basically 5K a
5K.
week,
Yeah.
1K a day, one trade a day, full margin.
All depends how much you want to lose a
And then
day.
you just roll over. So if you're doing 5K for the first week, you're trading full margin one trade a day every day with 1 grand. It's either hit or miss.
Yeah.
So you're not going to lose more than 3 times. Maybe you can, but you're going to win at least once for the week.
Correct. And that's
So with that one trade, if it goes into 5K profit, the rest of the week it's already done. Because even if you lose every single day after that, you can have a break-even week.
yeah.
And then you're preserving your capital. So the 5K will roll over to week 2.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
the same 5K week 3, week 4. And then obviously every Friday you would drop
It's a
profits.
snowball effect.
Yeah.
It's a snowball
Yeah.
effect.
So a lot of people, they ask, how much money you need to trade? So I ask them, how much can you afford? Once you give me an amount, we say, okay, right, this is what we're going to use.
How much you're about to lose. Yeah.
Yeah, this is how much we're going to use for the week. And basically, that's going to be compounded over the month. So if you're doing 5 grand, so 20 grand for the month.
Yeah.
That's your trading plan and
plan,
budget. Yeah. You just go full margin every day using a specific strategy. That's the fastest way to become profitable. I'm talking about small money growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that 1% story and whatever it is, that's for the funded guys and for the American
accounts,
guys
eh?
and whatever it is. 1% and fucking 500 rand and 1,000 rand here in South Africa, you're playing games.
You're playing
bro.
game, but you see,
playing
even
games.
if it's 1%, or say even 5%,
Yeah.
I think Dre got that calculation where I showed him of the power of compounding on,
Yeah.
like a 500 rand account,
That is so fine.
where
Yeah.
it's too simple to follow, and that is what throws us off. Because I think that example I showed him was 500 rand. and
30-day compounding, I think.
Yeah,
It's
30
1
days.
month, yeah,
It
for
was
1
30
month.
days. Within the 30 days, by compounding and trying to make, I think it was 5 or 10% a day, which
Yeah.
isn't a lot. But once you start compounding it, by the 40th day, you're sitting like 50 some odd thousand.
Is it? Yeah.
And you never change anything because your risk parameters are exactly the same. You're risking like half. So if you're aiming for 12% a day, you're risking 6.
Sure.
So
Okay.
on a 500K account, that gives you a lot of wrong trades before you blow the account.
Right.
Yeah.
You see.
But as the account is growing, obviously that percentage that you're targeting for the day is increasing. because
Increasing,
your
correct.
account is
Compound.
So
growing.
from 1,000 rand making 12%, 1,200 rand, when it goes to 10 grand, you're
Starts-
making more.
yeah.
You know, it's
100%,
the
yeah.
money starts increasing
But
120 to
that's where the
1,200.
trading psychology comes and the discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question to you is, as Jay mentioned, trading psychology. If you're doing something like that, for instance, and you take, let's just say, 3 losses in a row, what's the thought process after that now? Like you're in 3 losses in a row, you're jumping into a 4th trade now. What is your mindset? How do you know what? Tell yourself, I know my setup is good, but now you're coming off 3 losses, going into the 4th one. How do you like tell yourself, you know what? I can still do this.
Okay. Firstly, I will not trade 4 trades in a day.
No, I'm not
Yeah, no,
saying
I'm just
4 in a
saying
day.
general.
I'm just saying if you're trading 5 times a week, 1 trade a
Yes.
day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know what, you didn't have a good day. Now you're coming into Thursday and Friday. What's your thought process? Do you not trade that
So-
week, or what's your thought process?
So basically, for me, I have a mechanical approach to trading.
Okay.
So mechanical, I have steps that I follow. It is so boring in the sense where if I don't see something or if something is missing from my plan, then I don't trade.
Okay.
And I miss a lot of big moves. At first, I used to have that FOMO and then try jump in and go completely against your rules and your own things. But like to your question, if I have that losing streak, if I know that I followed my plan 100% and I hit my losses, I should not be feeling bad or anything because there's many variables that could have happened that your market or that your plan never worked towards it. But with your risk management in check with your plan, those 3 losses shouldn't have a problem because it's same like it's a game of probabilities. If you look at it using a 1 to 2, I use generally a fixed 1 to 2 risk to reward.
Yeah.
So if you're using that, for you to blow your account, it is difficult.
It's hard.
It is hard because you're predefining, and 1 to 2, if you're risking 10%, you're going to make 20%. So of course, it'll give you 10 losses before you blow your account.
Sure.
You know, it's all in the stats. And if you think about, for you to hit 10 losses in a row, even if you are just randomly only buying, it is very difficult.
Hard.
Think about flipping a coin.
Bro, I know some people, that was their strategy. Every New York session, just buy. Every single New York session,
Just buy.
just buy.
Because eventually, like I'm saying, like I mentioned
Bro,
about the coin.
I'm
the
telling
coin
you,
flip,
bro.
if you got a coin here, we can play a game.
Yeah.
We flip the coin 10 times. If you got a 1 to 2 risk reward,
Exactly,
Yeah.
bro.
you
People
only have to
just
win
buy.
4 times to be profitable because 4 times 2 is 8.
Yeah, you
And
can't.
your loss of 6 is only 6. You're still 2% or 20% up. You still 2 are up on
Yeah.
your trade.
Yeah, I never thought
You
about
can
it like
even
that.
lose
eh?
in 7 trades, you'll be just
Yeah.
about break
You'll
even,
just
bro.
be at break even.
Yeah.
So that is the difference.
That's a crazy way to think about it.
Yeah,
but
bro, the numbers
very
don't
simple,
lie.
as you said, very simple way of
It's
thinking
very
about
simple,
it. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the way you preserve capital in your trading. Because when you going in, well, for me personally, and this is what helped me, is you predefine your stop loss before, and you don't worry about the profits. You don't calculate, hey, trade here, I'm going to be making so much, like we spoke about in the beginning. You predefine your loss. There's a guy that I used to watch a lot of his videos on YouTube, Tom Haggard. He wrote a book called The Biggest Loser Wins. His whole thing is that to be successful in trading, you have to know how to lose. You have to know how to lose. You let your winners run, you cut your losses early. You don't hold. And one of the points that he makes is that a lot of us traders are hopeful in drawdown and fearful in profit.
Yeah.
I think
You
everyone,
cut your
everyone.
profit early, but you hold the drawdown,
I'm like that
praying,
up till
hoping,
now,
thinking
bro.
that you're going to.
I'm like that up
turn it
till
around.
now. I had
know?
this trade yesterday, bro, on a
Yeah.
copy trading account. I was fucking hopeful, bro. I was stuck in a bad trade.
You see, instead of cutting the loss early,
Yeah.
you're hoping that, hey, it's going to turn, it's going to turn, it's going to turn. And then as soon as you come into break even or profit,
Yeah.
you cut your profit.
Yeah, that's a psychology thing, bro.
You know?
But talking about that, like, what's the psychology around it? As you said, when it's going to loss, you want to hold it. But when it comes into just 10 pips in profit, you just close it because the trade was in loss.
In loss. So this is
How do you go through it? Like what do you tell yourself, or do you just put your phone off and say just leave it, set your TP, or how? Like when you're looking at the chart now, you want it to go up. Once
Are
it's
you
in
watching your
profit,
trades? That's
Yeah.
what he's asking.
he's asking. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Don't forget.
set
Yeah,
or forget,
yeah,
set
yeah,
or forget.
So I do monitor most of the time, but like I'm saying, if I have my predefined risk, I will not move my stop loss. If it is in drawdown and it hits my stop loss, I'm happy because I predefined it, I followed my rules.
Yeah.
But if I deviate from my plan and I start going wild and not following my plan and stop losses get hit, then the psychology gets happen because this is an emotional game,
Yeah, very emotional,
Something
yeah.
can be happening in your personal life and you're going to try to take it out on the charts. I used to revenge trade. Like I used to have things going on and I'm like, screw this here. Let me just go ahead on the chart. You're not following any plan or anything, but as an outlet, you are going there and then afterwards you are sitting and you're like, hey,
Shouldn't have done it.
I shouldn't have done it. There was no need for me. And
100%, yeah.
so I have windows, like you said, if I'm watching my chart, there's certain windows of time. I don't sit on the chart the whole day.
Sure.
I have certain periods of time that I sit. If I don't find the setup within that period, I walk away completely for the day. I don't even open my charts again.
Okay.
At all. No matter what social media is flying, this person is boosting, they caught this whole week and all of that. It didn't follow my strategy, my plan that I have. And this is where the discipline comes in. It is very difficult. I am not 100% disciplined, but I still go AWOL. There are times where I still say, hey, this move is happening. It's going
Just
to go
jump
to a
in.
certain point.
Yeah.
Let me jump in. Then you jump in the wrong place. You end up losing. And you're like, hey, I should have waited a little bit more and then got in. So I basically have A plus, A, B, and C strategies.
Okay.
Well, setups, call them setup, not strategies. Higher probability, and that's where the risk parameters come in, because on your A plus setup, that is where you know that you can go in a bit heavier because all your boxes are ticked.
Sure.
It follows it to the T.
All the confluences.
Yeah, everything that you need to trade is happening. And then, of course, like a B setup, maybe you have a criteria of 5 things, and maybe you need 3 ticked.
So what's your confluences on the A setup?
So I trade a lot of higher time frame. So weekly, 4 hour, 15 minutes. So I wait for key levels on like the weekly as my, you call it support resistance or points of interest. When I see that getting tapped in, then I drop to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, that's when I start dropping to the 15 minutes. So if it hits that area on the 4 hour, I start watching and seeing that, okay, price has ran this area, it doesn't want to close above, and there's possibility that we have a reversal. I'm more of a reversal trader than a continuation. I miss a lot of continuation trades because I catch pullbacks, but I'm changing a lot of my style into a certain degree where I'm going to start following the markets, but
To go with the flow.
Yeah, to go with the flow. But I'm not in the trade for long. Generally, my trades are
It's not
about an
easy,
hour.
bro, because I'm that type of trader where I'm a continuation trader.
Sure.
It's hard because sometimes you enter the trade and it's a proper sniper, but 50% of the time the drawdown's heavy.
It's heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the
Drawdown's
continuation.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the 15 minutes is nice for me because there's less noise. And when you start seeing 15-minute candles closing with volume, you know that this is strong compared to a 1 minute.
Yeah,
So your probability of, even if you enter late, I trade with FIBs a lot. FIB levels, I trade with a lot. I have a few custom numbers that I worked out and picked up for possible reversals or retracements. The normal ones, everybody knows 61.8 to 78.6.
Yeah.
Those are common ones for areas.
786.
786.
Yeah.
You win the gold.
Yeah. Full margin.
Full mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the losses and things, it's not. I think my psychology came in with some sort of discipline. I had to, and it's not easy. Everybody will tell you the discipline part of trading is the most difficult, but you can only start. Well, this is what I feel. You can only start to become disciplined if you start becoming accountable.
Yeah.
The only way to
that's
start
true.
becoming accountable is to start journaling.
Yeah, because deep down everybody knows, bro.
Journaling.
Deep down you know what you're doing wrong.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
if you're not holding yourself accountable, or like say you guys have a group of traders that you can hold each other accountable
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
You'll
yeah,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
group, you'll have a single thing. If somebody sends a wrong signal and you are watching the same chart, you're like, hey, you know what? Why did you sell when we're all looking at the same thing and we're looking to buy?
Bro, we got a private chat, bro. If somebody sends a bad signal, we fucking see each other on the group. Bro.
Exactly the same thing. You'll hold each other
Yeah.
accountable. Now, when you're trading on your own, it's a little bit
Yeah,
difficult. And the
yeah.
only way is, well, not the only way, but I think the easiest way is to start journaling.
When you talk about a journal, I tell a lot of people, students that start with us, even when we set a TP, we did analysis, market's going to a specific price. But with journaling, and if you know your specific amount that you want to make for the day, fuck the TP. If you add profit before it goes to TP, it's in your journal, your daily target is 1,000 Rand. Why are you not closing the trade?
So with, like you mentioned now, daily target, I don't try and force myself to have a set daily amount I'm trying to make because that messes your psychology.
Okay.
Because if market conditions are not right and you didn't see a trade and it's already coming to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to force something because you know that, hey, you know what, I need to make 1,000 Rand today.
Yeah, you're running out of time.
You're running out of time for the trading day and you're going to
Right,
end up
right.
doing something stupid. And instead of making 1,000, you end up losing 2,000. As an example now. So I don't set myself a set daily target. I trade what conditions come, and I have my fixed risk to reward that will pay out. Some of them you can leave as runners
Yeah.
and make more because let's say you're aiming for 1,000 a day. We're using simple numbers here.
Okay.
And you get a good setup now, and on a Wednesday, for example, we're sitting on a Wednesday, you target is 1,000 a day, you made 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, whole week you made your 1,000 target, you made 5,000. The other thing is if you wait for perfect setups to form where you can leave runners, you didn't trade Monday, you didn't trade Tuesday, no setup form. On a Wednesday, you caught the swing for the week, you leave it and close on a Friday. Yes, you made 10,000 from that whole run.
Yeah.
What is better, to be sitting in the market holding or trying to force your 1,000 or catching the whole reversal of the weekly candle and the expansion of it and riding it until the end of the day on Friday
Yeah.
or until you are happy or you pay yourself on the way because you're not opening a single position.
But it's interesting you say that because a lot of people, well, personally, I can't hold a trade for more than 1 day. That's not possible for me. Um, like
fucking
I'll just
hard,
be
bro.
you'll be driving, you look at the trade.
Yeah,
You'll be like you're going
can't
for
fucking
dinner.
sleep.
You gotta put the you're
can't
sleeping.
sleep,
Yeah,
bro. You
markets
can't
are closed. You're still looking. The market's not moving, but you're still
you
looking
look
at
at
the
it.
trade. You're like, what's gonna happen?
You're going on
Exchange
trading,
open.
you're
Yeah,
checking
you're
the chart
checking-
on trading view
so-
because MetaTrader is closed.
So it's interesting that you say
fucking
that.
hell.
So like the psychology behind that, like how would you do something like that now? How would you hold the trade for like 2-3 days now?
So that came with trusting your setup.
Yeah.
See, because I'm saying everybody's way of trading is different. So because I'm trading higher time frame, I'm trying to basically wait for that move, like I mentioned on a Wednesday. And I mentioned on a Wednesday because generally you'll find if you go back in time and check, most times the low or high of the week is formed on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Most times. Backtest it and test and then you'll see. So Mondays I don't trade. So with the journaling as well, this is where I picked up data on myself that Mondays I'm not profitable. Why? Because I collected data that, for a period of time, every time I traded on a Monday, I either lost or I was break even. But I was never profitable on a Monday unless I hit a lotto jackpot move. And,
Yeah.
before I continue there, that also comes into the plan where if you hit a good gamble trade and it skyrockets and you make a lot of profit, that shouldn't be regarded as a good trade. You should actually score yourself down on it because you never followed no rules.
Yeah.
And psychologically, that plays a thing because we are creatures of habit, generally as humans. So that part in your subconscious is going to be there all the time. That, hey, I did it once, I'm going to do it again. I didn't follow my plan, let me just do it again.
Yeah.
Let me do it again. I made more money not following it. So it comes with accountability. So the journaling, most people don't collect data to work out when they're trading, what time.
So which software that you use to backtest and collect all this data?
I used to use
Backtest.
FX Replay.
Yeah.
It's not free. It's about $30 a month, but it links with TradingView charts. You can go back in time. The stats on it are absolutely amazing. I think I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Mail, and it also worked out the same thing I'm telling you, where like Tuesdays wasn't working, Wednesdays, Newsdays. You can work it out. So FX Replay is good, but TradingView is fine. But I think for the bar replay, you need a paid version of TradingView. So now, when I'm using TradingView, it's for backtesting. I just use the bar replay tool there. It works for me. And most of the times when I'm backtesting, it's at the end of the day. Even if I have let's say I have a profitable trade or a trade worked out in my favor, it hit my plan, you still go back and review it. Maybe you could have gotten a better entry. Maybe you could have seen something else. So you replay the day and you're like, okay, guys, maybe, I could have gotten in here. Maybe I could have scaled out here. Maybe I could have held further. Yeah, so maybe you could have just went and reviewed it like that. But when I'm testing a lot of these new things that I'm trying, I used to use FX Replay because of the more data it gives you. There's no stats really on TradingView.
Okay.
So it doesn't tell you your win rate, your percentage. It just shows you how much of profit and loss you are making when you are buying and selling on it when you're trading. But with the FX Replay, I think it's a brilliant tool. It's not expensive. Journaling software that has its own built-in feature for backtesting and replay and stuff now, Tradezilla.
Yeah.
I haven't used
I know
it
that
as yet.
guy.
Umar Ashraf.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
That software that he has and developed is absolutely mind-boggling. And from following a lot of social media and things, you can notice traders that where they were at one stage and after they started journaling and becoming accountable and reviewing to where they are now with the software, it made a huge difference. I don't use that for journaling. I used to write on paper. I like my hands.
Like the old school.
But now with you need to screenshot and before and afters and stuff.
Yeah.
I started using Notion. It's a free online journal.
Okay. Yeah.
I told Amjad, I got a small template that I built with some help of some YouTubers. I took pieces from different people's ones and I customed it to my way of how I want to trade. So basically before my trading session, which is not the normal times, I have my window. Before that window, I'll have a game plan that, okay, from the daily chart, this is what I expect to happen.
Yeah.
Then I have my next time frame on my befores. As we come into the trading session, whether I take a trade or not, I'll put the afters.
Okay.
Compare
Right.
it to it. And then there's a section for you to write your story of the notes that market did X,
That's
Y, and
cool,
Z.
bro.
It's
Yeah.
nice. And then with the customization of it, there's a calendar on it as well. So as much as it's manual, You manually put that, okay, on this account here, my profit, my loss, win, things, and it gives you stats.
Sure.
So it's manual, but it shows you in a month view. If you just have a screenshot and show somebody, or even yourself, you're like, hey guys, you know what? I traded this whole month here, and that's also an overview where you'll see, okay, every Tuesday, this whole line is not profitable days. for me.
Yeah.
Every Wednesdays, I've been making the most profit, 2%, 3% gains, for
Right,
example.
right.
You know, so as a rough overview, when you're going to review yourself, you can gauge and say, hey, because imagine now, can you remember what trades you took on Monday?
I can, but
Okay, you can, yeah.
I'm going through the process what you're talking about. I'm holding myself accountable, journaling, spreadsheet, whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's what
Excel
Yeah.
works good.
I use
works good.
spreadsheet. I just use Excel spreadsheet.
It's just, I'm a visual person. I come from a creative background.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
like to see
see it,
things,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, my charts as well, I moved away from the traditional red and green. I use blue and purple. It looks like a bubblegum chart. It really looks like a bubblegum chart.
Yeah.
And only reason is because the colors related to me. When I was changing candles, when I was customizing my trading view chart,
Yeah.
I customed it, and those colors, I felt comfortable with it. And when you start reading about what blue does to your psychology, what purple does to
Right,
your
let's get into it. Let's get into it. The
Yeah,
numerology.
this is what I
and,
wanted to find out
and,
because this is what I heard and I never got.
what's the
Yeah.
other-
Astrology.
Yeah, astrology. Let's get
Astrology,
into it.
yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, so
Tell us the controversial stuff. Open up.
yeah, this is like
Don't
heavy
hold back.
conspiracies.
But this
let's
is this
do
is
it.
your way of trading. This is
Yeah.
because I mentioned this in the beginning of the
How are you
podcast
backtesting it?
and all of that.
You can backtest. So I have software that.
Okay, wait, let's talk about it. Then at the end we can talk about how you backtesting.
Okay. So using astrology to trade is it's such a strange topic because
Yeah.
people are going to.
That's fine.
It's going to cause so much of a stir. But back in the day, people did use it. There's some traders that used to use the laws of nature to trade. And when you look at it, these traders were from the 60s and 70s. They didn't have the technology that we have now.
We can backtest. Or
To
something.
backtest,
Yeah.
I mean, they were literally trading on ticker tapes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where it was bids that you trade, and you're basically betting because you don't know what the outcome is. You're waiting for the next day results to come. So today you're getting a ticker, and you don't know what the price is doing, and
No stop loss.
you know stop loss, nothing. You're saying, okay,
Yeah.
today I'm guessing the market is going to go up. It's going to
Yeah.
go to this price here.
Yeah.
You must wait for the whole day
to see what
to see what
happens.
happened. You don't have live data. So
Yeah,
these
bro, I
guys-
remember my grandfather was telling me some of the guys used to wait for the newspaper to come. They got a ruler, pencil. They're
Tickers,
drawing.
exactly,
They're
tickers.
drawing.
Call
options.
Bro, they're
Yeah.
drawing trend lines on the chart that's there in
On
the
the
newspaper.
paper.
Yeah.
Is it, eh?
That's how they're trading, bro. Then you phone in and you call in your trade.
You call it
Right.
Phone
Yeah.
you, they say
Yeah.
the stock is doing well.
So how you see
Yeah.
in the movies, right?
Like how you see in the
Yeah,
movies.
how you-
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
how it's
exactly.
portrayed in the
Wall
movies.
Street.
Yeah.
Wall Street,
Yeah.
yeah.
So these guys, they're veterans. I mean, they hit the markets back in the day so much, and with the astrology part of it, they understood that as much as it's controversial, planetary movements affect people.
I remember you
Okay.
were telling me you met a war veteran. And
Yeah,
he was
James Bartatoli. He trades this way, and he trades the astrology with a little bit of moon cycles, not so much of the moon, and they measure impulses and retracements.
Okay.
So for them to measure moves, only higher time frame that they trade. So let's say you have a bullish trend that is going up. They'll measure that move that you have up. They'll wait for the retracement, and then they'll look in history to see if that measured move happened before, because everything that we see happened before in history. If you look at it, when we start saying, you know what, this move happened previously, and with the stock crash that happened recently, how are the guys saying that it happened in 57?
Yeah.
It already happened before. You just need to be sharp enough to know when
know.
that cycle is going to happen. And
Sure.
to a certain degree, the astrology part comes in it because you're working out where the planets are, and then and I'm saying I'm still dabbling because it's confusing because you have to convert the planets move in degrees in different houses. Then you have to convert those degrees
Yeah.
into time. With our chart, is price and time.
Sure.
So from degrees, you have to get time, price, and date, and then you'll probably get a date that something is going to happen. I'm not at the point where
No,
I
but
can
give,
tell you exactly.
give them an example.
Yeah.
You told me about it. The 20th of August, something's happening.
So an example is there's cyclic dates that happen throughout the year, and they work with degrees. So 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, like that. And even if you break it down further into 15. So the 4th of August was one of those cyclic dates that happened.
Yeah.
The 4th fell on a Sunday. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky because it doesn't factor in the weekends. I mean, you have to try work the calculation out because the markets are not open 24/7. They, well, besides crypto, our normal stock markets, they don't open 24/7.
Sure.
So to gauge now, the 4th of August was the date. The crash happened on Monday. Plus, it was a new moon. That's Sunday, Monday.
Okay.
So there's a lot of confluences. I never traded on Monday. I was driving down from Joburg
Okay.
on Monday. So there was a lot of those things that were happening. And only when I reached home, I realized that, hey, today is the 5th. The date was the 4th, where something was supposed to happen. And I missed the move. I was like, okay, it's fine. You know what? I was driving. I was busy. I'm not going to drive my phone.
deep, huh?
The next date
Yeah, bro.
on the cyclic
interesting.
dates that we have is the 20th of August. And I was telling Amjad yesterday, before I even checked the news and everything, the 20th of August falls on a Tuesday. The next day is FOMC minutes.
Yeah.
Is it coincidence that that date lines up with the news event? You know, at the moment we don't know where the market is going to go. There's still some time, but as we're getting closer to the date, we might find the key level that, you know, at the FOMC is the catalyst to take price to that level.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't trade the news data itself if it's positive or negative. I say, okay, price needs to go to a certain level. What is going to take us there? The news event.
Okay. Okay.
Irrespective of the data that falls.
It's a catalyst
It's a
for
catalyst for
the
it.
for the momentum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For the volatility and the volume to come
Yeah.
in, for it to accelerate to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell him about the Mars thing.
So, okay, yeah, so with the astrology, Mars is generally an aggressive planet.
Yeah.
With astrology trading, you don't use all 9 planets. You use 5 of them. I've got them written in my notebook over there. I haven't dabbled in a long time. I haven't been playing with it. But you use 5 planets over there. And then where they have certain crosses on a certain date, then you know something's going to happen. So Mars is an aggressive planet. Generally, like with the war and stuff that happened in October and is continuing,
Yeah.
before that war happened, Mars was in a placement where in the world something was going to happen. We didn't know what, but in history, when Mars was ever in that placement, something catastrophic happened in the world, whether it was a natural disaster, whether it was a war, or you know something like that. So Mars happened then. So those are like times where if you're following it 100%, you can predict. No, I don't say predict, but you can forecast that on this date something big is going to happen. You might not know whether it's going to be a bullish trend or bearish trend, but based on your chart and price action leading up to the time, you can gauge where you're going to go.
So it affects human behavior.
Well, the moon affects human behavior. This is going to get me in trouble here. But generally,
Free
think
speech.
about females. Females generally are more inclined to moon behaviors. If you want, take a test. You have to wait for the next full moon. Monitor your wife's behavior.
Bro, you're gonna get us into trouble.
No, we're getting trouble.
No, but it's fine. It's fine. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
But it also affects males, but women more.
Right.
Okay.
Watch your wife's behavior like 3 days before the full moon and 3 days after the full moon. The full moon should be around the 23rd or 24th of August. I must actually double check the date. But watch your wife's behavior. Just pay attention to become aware of, even if you've got a girlfriend or partner. Just watch and see. I tried it myself. My partner, I know when to keep quiet.
The main thing is that they mustn't watch this podcast
Before it happens. Before it happens.
They're looking outside at the moon and
Yeah.
you just need to
Yeah.
We'll release it after. We'll release it after.
With the moon trading, there's a lot of indicators even on TradingView. Moon trading is not new at all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that
I've heard about
either
it.
trade the full moon, new moon, or
Yeah.
they trade the quarters of the moon.
I've seen
Yeah.
from the stuff you've sent me.
Yeah.
You sent me some stuff.
I sent you some
about it.
stuff,
I
yeah.
was looking at it, yeah.
So you either trade the full moon, new moon, or you trade the quarters.
Quarters.
And
Okay.
the general rule of it is on a full moon you buy, new moon you sell. But it's not always the same. It's
You
not
can't just go
always-
blind and be like,
You
okay,
can't just say, hey, tomorrow full moon, let me go buy.
Yeah.
Because there are times when it works the opposite.
Just make that clear before
Yeah,
someone
no,
just goes and
yeah.
sees
One goes
a
every-
new
Yeah,
moon
yeah,
and then
yeah.
they're gonna come here and be like, hey, he said
He
this.
told
No,
us.
no. Yeah, so just make that very clear.
But this data comes in with your own back testing as well. I mean, no one should listen to us blindly without going and
100%.
researching and
Yeah.
testing and doing their own development
Research,
of this
yeah.
year. I don't trade it all the time because it's a lot of work to calculate. The software that I have, it's called Astrolog. You have to input certain dates, and that's how you backtest because you put your start date for when you want to backtest, and you put your end date. And then within that period, it tells you where the planets are lined up in certain houses and all of that, in which position they're in. Then you must go now and calculate the whole background. Even, I'm sure you'd have seen people use Gann fans before. You never seen Gann fan?
No, bro. What you're talking about now is like foreign.
Okay,
to
so
us.
WD.
But it's interesting. It's super
W.D.
interesting.
Gann is the guy that, from back in the day, that started using a lot of these concepts. He has a lot of books where he speaks in cryptic languages, and whoever studied Gann will never release. You can go search YouTube. No one releases the actual strategy that Gann was speaking about, because they want the whole thing is like a cult. They want you to
Figure it out
figure it
on
out on your own. It's a cryptic puzzle, and this is like things that I like. So when you start reading W.D. Gann's books and all that, you'll find messages. He might be talking about a woman or something in the book, but it's symbolic for something else that is happening around. So it's not just face value things that were discussed in those things. So he has, he made this thing a Gann fan, which works in degrees. So it's basically a trend line from a low to a high, and it has levels like 1, a quarter, half, and it measures the whole trend that's there. When you place it properly, there's a proper way to place it. You don't just put it on a low and a high. You can get chopped up. It can work out because it's basic trend lines in different degrees that it works on.
Sure.
When you work on it properly, you can pick up proper trends, turning points, reversals, and all of that working with it. He also has a thing called square of 9. It's also a math calculation. It's so hectic. It's just it's a grid 9 by 9, and there's a whole lot of numbers in there. Where you are currently in price, you have to square it and work out where the crosses are, and then you'll get a price number, and price is possibly going to
Bro.
I think it's too much of a
You didn't teach me this.
This is the Gann fan, that screenshot you were showing me yesterday.
No, that what I was showing you yesterday was Fibonacci circles and ABC, a basic ABCD pattern.
Okay.
So you're using the Fibonacci spiral because circles, because the circles are like how your vertical lines are, or your horizontal lines, on your Fibonacci graph normal is.
Bro, he had normal Fibonacci, circle Fibonacci.
There's
plus the
spirals.
hits, yeah.
There's so many things in it. So with the circle ones, when you use it on the high time frame, where you get your numbers now, your 23.6, your 32, 50, 61.8, generally where those lines intersect vertically, you can expect price to do something at those levels.
Okay.
Forecasting in time now.
Sure.
So that could be the retracement leg before, from let's say 61.8 to 70.2, could be a retracement leg. And then from 70.2 at that vertical line, maybe it lines up with a news event or something, and that is your reversal point to go the other way. And then you use the measured moves to calculate the distance of where it's going to go.
Okay.
But that's where the confidence comes in your setups, because
Exactly.
when you're taking those trades, you know where you're holding it to.
It's very
There's no
I don't
confusion.
hold. I can't, like you're saying, I can't hold it
But
for
I'm
more
saying
than a
that's
week, 2 weeks.
yeah, but that's where the confidence comes to even hold it for. He's talking about
No,
weeks,
you talking
bro.
about weeks. Hold on. Yeah, I didn't catch that.
About weeks,
I can't do days. I can't do days. I'm in and out the same day. I can't do
We'll
weeks
be in and
now.
out in a few minutes.
Really?
What are you fucking talking
Yeah.
So I don't go for that because it's too much of
I
work.
didn't catch that. Weeks. Yes. Yeah. That's
So, if you think about it, for you to sit before a trading session, imagine you're sitting, before New York session, you're starting at 8 o'clock, you got this book over there, calculator, you're calculating all these funny things to get into the trading session now. It's too much of time.
It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. That is why I don't trade it, but I dabbled in it because it interested me. And sometimes when things happen, I go back and I review and I'm like, hey, at this point here, as much it's not my normal strategy or my normal model I follow, you go back and you look at it and you're like, hey, this planet was in this place here, this moon was in this place, this was so many degrees from there. And you're like, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The whole plan with dabbling in this is eventually I want to get to a point where you trade swing style. You'll have your daily, you'll have your intraday account, but maybe swing and position trading where you hold your trade. I want to try catch the midweek reversal or mid-month reversals. You hold the whole trade for that there. Let everything happen what needs to happen. You'll have your daily account where you're going
From the high to the low.
low. And then when you catch it on the higher time frame, you want to try catch that whole swing down. Or it depends where it is. You catch it, you leave it. There's a guy that we knew, or that was helping us initially, or helping me in the beginning of last year, Kenny Simon. He has a course, he has a university in London, Bretton Woods Academy. There's a lot of things that he showed us, also similar style, using the laws of nature and things with measured moves and things like that, where we were with him and he showed us this ABCD pattern, not conventional style, but where if you trade it, you can catch the movement as it happens. You're not waiting to catch the high or low and risking it. The move is already moving, you're basically following the money.
Yeah.
You're not catching a high or low, but you're not going to get much drawdown from where you're entering because you're already
You're moving with the momentum.
You're moving with you're moving with the momentum there. And I remember when gold made its all-time high a couple of years ago, he entered at that high. He held the trade for 1.5 years.
Jokes.
1.5 years. he
On
held
a
the trade.
leverage account.
On a normal trading account, he held the trade. His swap fees and all that were a little bit hectic, but he literally caught the reversal point on the top of the chart, and he held it for 1.5 years because the market never went back to that point.
No ways.
So, you look at people like that and you're like, this is the way we should trade.
Yeah.
Less risk, less headache, no stress.
And that's where you guys must remember, trade with a safe broker that's going to give you your money.
Yeah.
100%.
FX Warroom powered by HFM.
That's the tagline, eh?
7 licenses, bruh. 7 licenses.
So there's a lot of things you can go in the conspiracy side here
Yeah.
and things, but I think more that you guys want to know is about like the psychology side, how you build the plan.
Yeah,
how
before
you
we go into that, how did you even get into the astrology side and relate trading to that?
So I think you guys can see me with this dot and long hair, and a lot of people say, hey, he looks like a spiritual person and this and that. So this path helped me because I'm on this spiritual path. I won't say I'm religious, I believe in Jesus, I believe in Allah, I believe in the gods. There's a higher power, call it there. But we believe in vibration. So with that being said, and we learn about astrology, I mean, all of us used to read, I don't know if you should read a horoscope, but you should read horoscope. No. Yeah. A lot of people I know, they read the horoscopes and things. So when everybody knows Google is listening 100% of the time, when you start speaking about things and all that, I started getting pop-ups coming up about astrology training. So it was almost like shoved in my face, and I was interested in it. So I was like, let me go and research a little bit. And there's not a lot of information out there on astrology trading and using.
Yeah, I don't think it's as big as normal
It's
trading.
not big because, I mean, like I mentioned, there's so much of work that goes into it. You'll find a person that draws a support and resistance in 2 minutes. He'll make the profit. You're still calculating what time the market is going to turn.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. But when you start swing trading and looking at long term, or even if you're in your intraday trading, knowing that you're in a certain position, and even if you're intraday trading, you know that on a certain day you calculated with this whole thing as well, you can calculate where price is going to go. So if you have a number, for example, gold never made all-time high, you did your calculations, and the square of 9, or whatever theory you're using, gave you a number 2,500 from 2,400, and price hasn't gone there. You know now, based on your confidence in what you've been doing, price is going to reach 2,500. Every day, all you're going to be doing is looking for buys to get there eventually.
Yeah.
When it reaches there, then you go and you revise what you want. But knowing where price is going, you can know that I'm not going to be selling any of this because we are going up.
Yeah.
You're just going to be waiting for your pullbacks, and you're going to be catching the pullbacks on the way to your target. And if you're closing for the day, when you get to a certain point, you close your trade. Next day, you wait for your buy, and you continue that.
Okay.
So there's ways you can use
just
it.
keep stacking break even.
Exactly.
Stacking break even.
So-
stacking break even.
I'm trying to get to the point where I can use it to forecast price. I don't like to say it because I don't have the data where I traded it, but I was testing it. And before US 30 made the high, using Fibonacci as a projection, the high was calculated by maybe 5 or 10 points, and it literally wicked there and fell completely.
Yeah.
The lows for NAS using the same Fibonacci projection, but on the reverse end of it, when it reversed, it went to those levels, and now it's just sitting at those points until something
Consolidating.
happens again now.
Yeah.
Those levels become so
Fibonacci
strong.
is fucking powerful, bro.
Fibonacci is not a it's not a secret, I think. I think it's not like the golden strategy you can use. But when you start looking at, this is also going to blow another.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's go. We're in it now.
Yeah, you see, I come from a little bit of IT coding background and stuff.
Yeah.
What we're trading on TradingView at the end of the day is also based on coding. You have to write some English in it to get it out. And when you study IT and all, it's basic if-else statements. If price doesn't reach there, then it's going to do something basic English like that there. So when you understand that part of it, you start off, come to it like, okay, if we are in this consolidation, let's work it out, and price wants to go there, then where do we need to trap people? We need to trap people lower to go higher, because you need to have a two-way transaction. For buyers to come in, you need to have sellers.
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
Manipulation and
Manipulation,
distribution.
distribution, so all of
Yeah.
that there. So when you start getting into those things, then you're like, okay, sharp. Now I know. Let's get into this leg here, and the if-then statements come in. You'll hear people a lot talk about that the whole thing is just an algorithm and price reacts to certain things. To a certain degree, I agree with it because, like I'm saying, it's a computer program at the end of the day. No one is literally buying in TradingView to make the market move up and down.
Yeah.
You know, the volume is not in your app TradingView. It might be on the exchange on your MetaTrader, TradingView, Seaboard, whatever platforms you're using, and your liquidity provider with your broker. But the if-else of where price needs to go is done based on the back end of where price is currently. So you can work it out, and you can try it out as well. See, like speak to yourself in that way. Like, if we are here and price wants to go there, then what needs to happen?
Right.
Basically that. And you'll see that the then will start making sense.
Sounds
for me.
simple enough.
It's too simple. It is too simple, and that is where we make mistakes. Because even for myself, I miss out on big trades because I'll draw my Fibonacci, everything lines up, all my check boxes are ticked. But I look at it and I'm like, it can't be so easy.
Yeah,
It cannot-
Fibonacci.
it cannot be so
It's
easy.
easy, bro. It's just market structure and you're pulling it accordingly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
It works a lot.
It
bro.
works.
But people, a lot of new traders, they don't understand market structure. That's
the
the
thing.
fucking foundation of everything, bro. Like market structure, because we studied it so hard, we can look at a naked chart, we know exactly what's happening.
well,
We don't need
eventually,
to draw a trend line, nothing. We can look at a naked chart and we can pull a fib.
yeah, that's where I got my. You're laughing. I trade basically naked charts, but I don't draw fibs anymore because your eyes get used to knowing where the levels
levels
are.
are.
Yeah.
So you know, like I don't use all the numbers. My numbers, I rounded them up. So I have a 62% instead of 61.8, instead of 70.2, 70.5, instead of 78.6, I have 79.
Tell them about that, the psychological round numbers. You were telling me about it earlier.
Yeah, this is the whole thing as well.
So you're setting your fib according to that.
No, I don't set my fib according to. I just use. I don't like strange. Let's say strange numbers. I
like whole numbers.
I prefer whole numbers or odd numbers. It's such a strange thing. So even
This is too much now.
You know, I know about psychological round numbers and levels and whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So when I thought he's talking about his Fibonacci, that I thought he's setting it.
no. So the
That's why I
Fibonacci
said
levels
it.
you can use it if your Fibonacci level lines up with a psychological number that's there. So your psychological numbers would be your double zeros, your 20s, 50s, and 80s. So generally, if you're looking on, let's say gold, for example, maybe 2400 is your double zero.
Right.
Yeah.
Then, if you're trading high time frame, then your next number will be
25-0.
24, 25, or 24,
Oh, like
20.
2020.
Moves
Oh,
in
20.
It moves
Right,
in 20s.
okay.
Say 20.
Like how US 30 moves and NASDAQ moves and whatever is
Yeah.
2,500 perps.
Sure.
Gold will move 25
Yeah,
points.
like gold
Oh,
moves in
I
quarters.
understand what you're
Moves
saying.
in quarters,
Okay.
bro.
okay.
Everything
Gold
moves in
generally moves in
quarters.
quarters.
Psychological round
Does that
number.
have to do anything with the moon? No. Okay, I'm just.
No, it's like
it's
human
quarters.
behavior, bro. Like.
But what you mentioned is good because
Yeah.
there is.
It's human behavior
Because, as you said, quarter, you get a quarter, full, 3/4, and then a full moon. You know?
It does work like that because when I draw zones on my charts and my candles, I measure my candles in quarters. 25%, 50%, 75%, and of course the zero. If price is breaking or respecting like the 75%, then I know it's not going to go lower than that. If it starts going and closing above the 50 or below the 50 and 25, then you know it's already past that area or zone and it's going to continue. So sometimes my entries are only not even at the 61.8 or 70.2. It's only up at the 20 or 30% of the range that we're going, and I'm expanding to, I call it the standard deviation.
I noticed a similar thing, bro. When I set up Fibonacci, let's say we enter at the golden zone 68 or whatever it is. Once the candlesticks close above 38.2, you
you
can
can't.
enter, bro.
You can
There's
enter.
no more drawdown. That's where you can scale in and it goes.
Okay.
So
Very
deep-
interesting.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
38.2 is the number two.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
38.2,
we're going
bro.
all in.
It doesn't pull back, bro. You can enter at 68. You'll get your. It'll go up and down.
Up and-
and
it'll
down.
fluctuate a
It'll go
bit.
into draw.
Yeah.
But once it passed that 38.2, and you get solid candlesticks closing above that, comes back, retests, it's gone.
It's
There's no
gone.
drawdown.
It's not going to come back down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't happen 100% of the time.
No,
There's
of course,
100%
yeah.
strategy.
Bro,
Of
it
course,
happens
yeah.
a lot, though.
But when you start paying attention, like say, I'm just noticed the 38.2. I don't
Yeah.
have 38.2 on my chart.
Okay.
I sometimes put 20 and 30% based on what I'm saying. If I don't want to draw my fib on the candles, I'll have my quarter points that I have there, and
Sure.
I trade with that.
Okay.
So the fubs are very interesting. It's
Yes, yes.
absolutely.
So
fun.
there's more to this numbers on the charts, eh?
This was more. It's exactly more than numbers
Interesting.
to charts. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
this
challenging.
Is, this is
You're
like so
challenging yourself,
controversial.
though.
It is.
Aaron, make sure that you learn. Because there's times when he sent me trades that he was in. So
What about all the
basically-
books? What about all the books he sends?
No, I'm getting there. Bro. So basically,
Yeah.
I'd send him one of my trades that I've taken for the day. So you'll be like, hey, well done. No, there's like 1,000 books or something. Then he'll send me one of his trades that he took for the same day.
And he's in it.
In
And
it,
he's still holding it.
5,000-6,000 books.
Yeah.
So I'm asking him, bro, how did you get that specific trade?
Point
How
entry,
how
yeah.
did you enter there? Because it's sniper.
Yeah.
Did you read the books? That's what they asked me. Did you read the books?
Yeah,
I said,
did you read the books? Trey sent me the list of all the
So-
books.
so-
I was like, hey, fuck, bro, I'm not reading this
They're
book.
like 300 pages. So,
Oi.
you know, I read through maybe the first 2 or 3 pages. And he's like, oh, I tell him, hey, I read something. No. He says, no. Let me ask you a question. He asked me a question.
I even give you the summary of
Yeah.
the whole book.
Silence. And he says, read the books and then I'll tell you how.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that the knowledge that he speaks about, you understand it first before he tells you how he got to that point, you know?
Yeah, don't cut
You see,
corners.
for me,
100%.
it's more that if I speak about something, it's through personal experience. It might not relate to somebody else. We're going to get a lot of slack on this for this podcast. I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of traders that are going to say that this is a controversial podcast. I promise you,
Yeah.
it's such a controversial podcast because people will tell you you're talking absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, but until you go out and try it for yourself, somebody might pick something up and implement it into their personal strategy and
100%.
then become profitable. You don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking of things that I dabbled with and tried. It's not necessarily that I'm still using them, but we have knowledge of them. If we need to refer or
Implement
have a reference
them.
back,
Yeah.
we can always go back in.
Like initially when you first started talking to me about it,
You thought I was
I
mad.
know I didn't understand what you were talking about, but until I started actually seeing the trades that you took or the trades that you were in, that made me realize, hey,
This guy knows what
something that he's talking about there is making complete sense because in a day, I'm trading the same thing, but I'm catching a small move, but he's catching the bigger move than that.
And I think I remember I asked you the one time, why are you getting excited for 200 points or 200 pips? I asked him and then I sent him a thing like, I'm already like 1,000 points in this, 1,000 pips in this trade. I'm like,
and by
bruh.
him saying 1,000 points, he's talking about what we
Well,
would
100
say,
points, yeah.
10,000 pips.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Yes.
Deep,
yeah.
deep. Yeah, bro.
And on the groups we're putting 1,000 plus, we're getting excited with
No.
1,000
We
plus.
get each.
Yeah, I count it differently. I basically
Yeah.
count
In
$1
points.
move as a point,
Yeah.
as 10
Oh,
pips.
They count
okay,
in
okay,
points.
okay.
I count 1 point as 10 pips.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something. Our calculation is a little bit different, but it's the same,
Yeah.
same movements that we're going at.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. It's something very new. But you say it's controversial. It's what works for you at the end of the day.
That's the main thing. You know, it works
Yeah.
for me. I can give you the full recipe, but if it's not relating to you, you won't. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
I mean, if I give you a recipe for biryani, you put your own spice over there. What's going to happen?
Yeah,
It tastes
yeah,
very
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not going to taste.
Strokes
Yeah.
for different folks.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting for me. I think you have to have a bit of obsession and passion in this industry to make it as well. It's not just think that you're going to make money. I think all of us got into it for money. That was our initial goal. My whole goals changed. As much as money is important for it, but
bigger than that.
it's bigger than the money. This trading is a tool now for a bigger purpose that I need to fulfill.
100%.
Okay.
You know,
Very nice. Yeah.
and it's the easiest, I say it in inverted commas, because we know the potentials. Every trader who has a good streak can understand that the potential that trading has once you start having discipline, consistency, you start behaving. When I say behaving, you're not
Yeah.
going wild in the market,
Yeah, yeah.
trying to chase every single move, and you look at it in the long run. Like we spoke about in the beginning of the year, that there's no investment will give you the returns that you can make in trading.
Yeah.
There's
100%
absolutely
correct.
zero.
100%.
Unlimited potential.
And then most of the people that are working as well, if they start changing their mindset in the sense where if they work out what their salary is in a day, roughly, let's say example, if your monthly salary is 10,000 Rand, this is total wrong maths now I'm giving, but you work out your daily rate and it works out to 250 Rand or 500 Rand a day. You get a lot of traders who used to make that 500 Rand a day based on their 9 to 5 job, 8 to 5 job. But in the market, if they're making 500 Rand in a day, they want to go and chase some more.
Yeah.
I tell my students, clients the same thing. bro.
You know,
Yeah.
Exact same.
you have to break it down to a point where, okay, you are making so much. Why you are being greedy? Why? You never had that five. Before you were working 8 hours to make 500 rand a day. Now in 20 minutes you can make your 500 rand.
Hey, fuck.
You know,
it's true.
it
bro.
is possible.
It's true.
But our psychologically, this is what plays on us. We are creatures of nature. We know how much you can make. So we say, okay, 500, then you make another 100.
Yeah.
You go back in.
Yeah, you go
make
back
another
in.
100. Okay, you know, let me make it 1,000 for the day.
Yeah.
While chasing the 1,000, you end up losing 2,000. Then you're like, shit.
Yeah, but some people chase from 900 to 1,000, just at 100 Rand more.
And when you end up losing,
Yeah, bro, that's the worst.
is it with that there?
My wife's a trader, and sometimes she's a savage, bro. She'll make sure she hits 1,000 or whatever it is. Like even yesterday, she hit a trade. We were like 500 Rand away from the daily target. She fucking held that trade, bro.
The thing I noticed as well, you see, it's wrong with
And
your
then
wife.
it reversed, bro.
Women seem to be a little bit better traders than men.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. I feel like
Women,
she is a better
I don't know
trader.
whether it's because they're more emotionally active or detached from outcomes. You know, when they bottle up things, they can bottle up as well. So I don't know if that is it, but with the like emotion side of it as well, I think before you can become an emotional trader or start focusing it, I think you need to have something to gauge it against. If you don't have data, then how are you going to know what emotions you have? So like I mentioned about the plan, if you don't have a set of rules that you followed for a set period of time and you were in drawdown, you don't know how your emotions are going to react. Generally, you are only emotional when you're in the red. That's
Yeah.
when your heart is pounding, you don't know what to do, you're sweating, you're stressing, but generally in the blues, you're okay. And this is where I think you come to a point where when you're in the drawdown, you start bringing the awareness of what you're feeling. And this is where the journaling comes in again now. Because before a trading day, it sounds crazy, but I write how I'm feeling for the day. So I have a thing that I woke up today, I'm feeling good. I have a good feeling. I have a good gut feeling in my gut that it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And you go into that. After your trading day, you go and review that and you see what happens. If you're feeling the same thing. When you go into the drawdown now, you do the same thing. You're like, hey, I'm in red. What am I feeling? Am I scared? Am I this? Then you take some deep breaths. You try and you have your own exercises that you bring yourself out of it. If you hit your losses and you are scared of the screen, take a walk in nature, leave it out, regroup yourself, come
Yeah.
back when you're feeling okay.
Wow.
That's amazing, man.
Amazing. There's a whole lot of nuggets in here.
Nah,
Yeah.
bro.
Controversial nuggets.
Nah, I don't think anyone.
So I
did.
think before we end this, why don't you give the viewers a list of books to go through?
Yeah, why not?
There's a lot of books that the guys recommend. For me personally, I think a lot of traders, the first book that the guys read was Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas. It's a good book. Psychologically, it goes through the phases that a trader goes, works on psychology deep. He speaks about the equity curve, how your equity curve should be, what you should do. The other good book, The Mental Game of Trading, Jared Tendler, absolutely amazing. He also goes through the same cycle, but there's different challenges and all that he picks up on traders. He does a lot of podcasts. You can join a lot of his free stuff on YouTube. He has a lot of live stuff, Jared Tedler. You can check it out. Market Wizards, I haven't read the book. I've heard the audio book of it. I was lazy to read. It's better than the book. So while Market Wizards has a lot of interaction and conversations with other profitable traders and what happened, like similar to what we're doing, but in book form from back in the day. Those are good things to look at when you're starting. I think from there, it's not only related to trading books, you need to work on your mindset. So mindset books, there's Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. You know Marcus Aurelius, Gladiator.
Yeah.
Maximus and all of
Yeah,
these guys
yeah,
are from the Stoic side of things. The Stoic meditations and self-talk and all that help a lot. So Meditations is a very small book. It's basically just small sayings that he said, but when you start reading them, you start reflecting. I even subscribe to a newsletter from one of these Stoic websites where every day they'll send you a small quote and you can reflect on it. So every day you have that, you read it and you're like, okay, this is how I'm going into the approach. You have to have a balanced mindset, balanced view when you're getting into it.
Connected to Mother Nature, man.
Correct. That's the way you do it.
Cool.
Well, we try to.
Okay,
Thank you
before
for
we
coming
head
through,
off,
bro.
any advice for in the future traders, current traders?
I'd say, for me personally, something that stuck out and carried me through days when I think all of us had the time when we wanted to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And we wanted to say, Denzel Washington mentioned that without commitment, you will never start. Without consistency, you will never finish.
I've heard this.
Knowing that is one thing that I can repeat over and over again because you need to know why you start training. So knowing the why.
Yeah.
What is your purpose of this year? And when you keep on focusing on that there and the times come, then you start saying, okay, I started this. What do I need to get there? And you continue playing it. So as a trader, you'll go through your ups and downs. Don't give up.
Yeah.
For us, nowadays it's so much easier. I mean, you're sitting at how many years in now into the trading?
This is my 5th year.
After how many years did you become
Oh,
profitable?
4th year. This is my 4th year. 2 years of no profits.
Exactly. You see,
Yeah.
for each person now, based on how they are, it becomes difficult. So don't give up. For you, it might take 2 years. For you, it might take 5 years. For me, it might take 10 years.
Yeah.
But as long as you are moving in the right direction. The other thing, I know we need to end here. A lot of people get caught up in the consumption of knowledge that's out there because there's so much of it.
It's a curse, bro.
It is the curse. Knowing too much is the problem because even this is also Denzel is a man. I like him a lot. He mentioned that doesn't mean that you are doing more, that you are making progress because you could be running on the spot and going nowhere.
Yeah.
So in the same way, by consuming everything without applying it, you don't know where you're going. And this is where the data collection comes in play. So I think collect data, try and journal as much as you can as a trader, learn about yourself. I've learned more about myself in trading than anything else. I thought I was on the spiritual path. I wasn't greedy. I didn't have bad habits because you are in the Zen mode, you meditate, you do all these things. Bro, trading showed me how greedy and what a dark side I had.
Yeah.
And those are the things that helped me on my spiritual journey as well. Trading changed my whole mindset, my whole outlook and everything. So don't give up. Keep at it. Keep at
Cool.
it, guys.
What a,
Thanks so
what
much.
a-
That was an amazing podcast.
Yeah.
The first time I've heard something like this, and
Fire.
I really want to
Definitely, you
speak
need to come
more,
on
but
for
yeah, definitely.
When I'm down, if you all sit and have an open table discussion like this, I'm
Definitely,
keen.
definitely.
Gems. Absolute
Yeah.
gems.
Absolute gems.
Cool.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you, guys. I appreciate you all having so much
Cool.
of faith in me to ask me on here.
Thank
I
you.
don't believe in myself as much
No,
as
no, no, 100%.
I
This
told
is just an open
Yeah, I
conversation,
told
so
Amjad in the
nothing
beginning
needs to
that, for me to be speaking and things it's not me.
Yeah.
But when he mentioned that we could possibly be helping other traders and upcoming things, I said, okay, if it's doing it for a better cause, I'll
100%.
stand in.
Thank you, bro.
100%.
Cool.
I appreciate you.
Cool, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, guys. Thanks for watching. Please catch us in the next episode. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, and drop a comment in below who you want to see next. Cool, guys. Take care.